you most excited for this weekend playing in Jacksonville?
I spent a lot of time in Jacksonville. I lived there for about 8 years, so probably just seeing all my old friends and family members that still live down there, and just playing this game. I've been a part of it, as a fan, living in Jacksonville. So it's always awesome for me to come back and play in this game.
Describe the atmosphere. I mean, half and half. What is it like to play in that kind of atmosphere?
It's awesome. It's literally split right down the middle, half and half, like you said, and it's kind of weird the way people file in because they're all out tailgating beforehand. So when everybody gets in there, it gets crazy, and it's just a really cool atmosphere. It's probably one of the best atmospheres in college football.
What ages did you live in Jacksonville?
Man, I think I was 7 until about 14, 15.
So big Gator fan then?
No, I was never a Gator fan.
Okay.
Your family ever tailgated a game or anything like that?
Yeah, they have in the past, and they did last year as well. So there's no telling.
So when you were a kid, they were tailgating when you were young?
No, I think they hung around the house when I was young,
okay.
but they do now.
What's the weirdest thing you've seen going to that game? I mean, there's what crazy things happening there around that stadium.
Man, I mean, I don't even think I could narrow it down to one, but people have a good time out there, and they're out there all day. So, I mean, there's definitely some sights to see out there.
I know you guys try to treat every opponent the same, and Kirby, kind of hammers that point across and everything. But, I mean, honestly, is this just another game? I mean, does it feel just like another game for you guys to go into that neutral side and to play such a long time rivalry like that?
No. For me, I don't really like these guys a whole lot, but that's just part of it. It's part of the Florida-Georgia rivalry, and every time we come into Jacksonville, we want to win this game, and that's the mentality we take going into practice and into this week.
In terms of the guys on Florida's defensive line, I mean, they've got a couple of high-profile guys over there. So, how does that make things difficult from a tight end perspective? What type of things do y'all have to do differently when you have that talent coming off the edge?
I mean, you just got to compete, with those guys, man. They're good players. That's the real number 18. Yeah. That's the OG 18. But yeah, no. When you got guys, that they got, on their D line, I mean, it's a big challenge, and if we can hold up against them, that's a great look for us, and that's something that we, aim to do. And I'm excited for the challenge. They got good pass rushers, good players, good defense, so I'm looking forward to it.
There's more talking between players in this particular game than maybe other games y'all play in during the year.
Yeah, I would say so. They don't like us, and we don't like them, so. But this game is about composure too. You can't get caught, out of control, and the next thing you know, you're costing the team, because you can't keep your mouth shut. But, there's some words swapped during the game.
Well, let me ask you, as far as the young kids go, I mean, I'm sure they're going to be, so many guys have to keep their composure. That's going to be very important for the young kids. I mean, how are you going to go about trying to make sure they do that?
Just harping on it, letting them know that, composure is a real thing in this game, that you need to have it. I know a lot of guys on their team, they love to talk, even from, the camp circuit and, 7-on-7s, and, it hasn't changed in the last 2 years.
That's something, you talking about the camp circuit, I mean, you go to these different camps and all guys have already committed, and the talking really kind of starts then, because I've been to camps before where you kind of see that back and forth like that.
There's definitely a carryover with it, and, and this is just a big trash talking game. The last 2 years I've played in it, that's the way it's been. That's the way I think it'll always be. So, good old fashioned hate between two teams that don't really like each other.
How much were you recruited by them?
I was recruited by them pretty hard, McElwain's staff.
Any remembrances of it?
Yeah, I mean, I took a visit there for the Tennessee game when Will Greer was the quarterback there, and they ended up winning. Cool atmosphere, good fan base, but I like Georgia a little better.
Growing up there, I mean, Spurs, it's before your time, but between Urban Meyer and Muschamp, they recruited very well. Seemed to be a little bit of more people seem to be going to Georgia. Did something turn that trend at some point?
I don't know. Growing up in Jacksonville, I was a part of the, watching the Gator teams that had Tim Tebow on them and Percy Harvin, and there was tons of Gator fans and tons of people wanted to be Gators, and you know, they got a lot of history in the program, a lot of good players, a lot of good teams that come out of there. But you know, I don't know. I think a lot of people see in Georgia, you know, what I saw. You know, tide's turning, and you know, there's a lot of good things going on here, and you know, Georgia's going to be good for a long time.
I got here a couple minutes late. I'm sorry if this was brought up too. You're committed to. You've been committed to, as a recruit to the two most hated rivals for Florida, because you were committed to Florida State for a while. Did you grow up a Florida State? Is that why it kind of play into the whole "I don't like these guys very much" type thing?
Well, to be honest with you, when I first moved to Jacksonville, I became a Florida State fan because I got put in a class that was full of Florida fans, and I wanted to be different. And that's kind of how that started. And ever since then, it's just kind of been that way.
Right.
When you talk about composure, are there maybe learning experiences that you had from your first Florida game or two that you're kind of bringing up to these younger guys this week?
Yeah, that you know, it doesn't matter, you know, what anybody's record is, who they beat, who they lost to. I mean, it's just a physical, good game, you know, every year. You know, even though last year, you know, it was a blowout for us. I mean, there were still plays where, you know, if they would have hit them, it would have been, you know, a completely different game. So, you know, it's just one of those games, man, where you got to be on your P's and Q's and get the job done.
You mentioned things are turning right for Georgia. This is a pretty big game in that respect. I mean, if Florida beats you, then, you know, their arrow's pointing up and Georgia's is back down again. I mean, do you think everybody realizes just what a pivotal game this is and what Kirby's trying to get done here?
Yeah, I believe so. You know, you look at this game every year, and it seems like whoever wins this game, you know, that's usually the front runner in the East. You know, at least the last, you know, couple of years, that's how it's been. But you know, this is obviously a huge game. We know that. You know, that's why we're preparing the way we are, and you know, we know it's not going to be, you know, any, you know, cakewalk to get this one done. But you know, we're excited for this game, excited for this challenge.
When's the last time you feel like Georgia really played peak football? Would you have to go back to South Carolina, or has there been a game since then where you feel like you guys have really hit on all cylinders?
You know, I really still feel like we haven't played our best football yet. You know, and I think that, yeah, that's good, you know, at this point to, you know, be able to carry us through the end of this year, and you know, we'll get playing our best ball here.
Do you take into consideration when planning for this game that Florida beat LSU and Georgia didn't? Is that kind of taken into consideration when you're looking at planning, and like, do you watch the Florida LSU game?
Yeah, I mean, we watch it all, and you know, we know who they've beaten and who beat them as well. You know, so you know, it just, you got to take it all in perspective, and you know, that LSU game, you know, even though it's in the past, we got a lot that we learned from it, and you know, we had a bye week to get over it and you know, improve on that. And you know, there was a lot of plays we left out there that if we would have hit, you know, that game would have been different as well. So you know, we learned from that game, and you know, and we watched them on film, and we got a good plan, and you know, we're excited to go play them.
You seem pretty loose and relaxed maybe all the time, but is there a different vibe around the team now versus a couple days before LSU, or is the mindset the same?
I think it was good for us to reset and, you know, take a deep breath. You know, I think one of the, you know, best things I heard from Coach Smart, you know, during that time, because when you lose a game like that, you feel like, you know, the world's crashing down on you. But, you know, he said that, you know, of all the national championship teams he's been a part of, you know, only one of them was undefeated. So it just kind of put it into perspective for everybody that our season's not over. Everything that we want to do is still in front of us, but we just got to handle it from week to week. And I think that brought a lot of juice back to everybody, and you know, put us in a good bye week situation, you know, good week of practice, and rolled us right into this week. So.
Time for two more.
What do you think you worked on most as an offense to get better these 2 weeks?
Just staying disciplined, hitting our shots, you know, when we need to hit them. I'd say those are the two biggest emphasis this week, as far as my opinion.
Do you feel like the offense lost its composure, you know, sometimes against LSU, and you know, what do you got to do to keep that from happening against Florida?
I wouldn't necessarily say we lost our composure. I just don't think we executed as well as we should have. You know, and it comes down to inches on those, you know, execution things. But you know, like I said, we watched the film, we learned from it. So try to you know, take away those mistakes from here on out.